Now let's talk about foreclosure. There are two types of mortgage foreclosure, judicial and non-judicial. The foreclosure process, timelines, and your responsibility for the deficiency therefore depends entirely on which type of foreclosure your lender uses. Which type of foreclosure your lender selects depends on what your specific state law says about how they may foreclose against the property and whether or not they want to try to pursue you for the deficiency after the foreclosure sale. The first type of foreclosure we'll look at is judicial foreclosure. A judicial foreclosure is a court proceeding that begins when the lender files a complaint and records a notice in the public land records announcing the claim on the property to potential buyers, creditors, and other interested parties. The complaint asks the court to allow the lender to foreclose on its lien and take possession of the property as a remedy for non-payment on the loan. If the borrower can show there are differences of material facts, a trial will be held by the court to determine if the foreclosure should occur. In the vast majority of cases, the foreclosure action is undisputed because the borrower is in default and cannot offer any facts to the contrary. If the court determines the homeowner did default and the debt is valid, it will issue a judgment in favor of the lender for the total amount of the loan owed, including the cost of the foreclosure process. Next, the court will authorize a sheriff's sale to auction off the property, which is open to the general public. Procedures for a sheriff's sale vary in each state, but the individual with the highest bid is granted the property. In distressed property foreclosures, the highest bidder usually ends up being the lender because no one is willing to pay the lender the full amount of the outstanding loan because the property is not worth that price. The lender then has to take the property back and will sell it at some future point. At this point, the property is now called a bank-owned or a real estate-owned property. 22 states use the judicial foreclosure process as their primary way to foreclose. To find out if your state is one of them, look at the list below to see if your state is listed. Remember, just because a lender in a judicial foreclosure state uses this type of foreclosure as their primary method, that doesn't mean they can't elect to foreclose non-judicially if the state law allows for it and the lender decides it better suits their needs. Next, let's take a look at non-judicial foreclosure.